Hi everyone, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. I'm back today for another TBR unboxing. This time it's letters D and E for author surnames. If you're new to this little series I'm doing, welcome. I am going through the TBR to be read boxes that live in my basement where most of my to be read books live, very sadly and unfortunately. The problem is I have too many, so the thinking behind this series is for me to see what I have because I don't remember, and ideally get rid of things. Now, if you watched my first two, you'll know that I got rid of, how many? That's right, yeah, 0 books. I got rid of 0. But I have been thinking about one of them, so I pulled it out. I'm going to get rid of one, and that was that, like blue something about the missing kid that I wasn't too sure about. I got in a book box. I'm going to get rid of that one. Just because I haven't heard of it doesn't mean that I have to read it. And I didn't pick it myself. You know, it was a subscription box. I can let it go, right? I can let it go. Oh my gosh. So I'm hoping I can do a better job with this box. Probably not, but I'm hoping that I can. So we will see how this goes. I did open up the lid. I might have to just take it off of it if I shake the tripod too much, but we'll see. This is, again, a shorter box, a smaller one like the second one was, and it feels like there's just one layer, like it's not double stacked at all. So we'll see how this goes. So this is by J.T. Ellison, A Deeper Darkness. This is a thriller mystery thriller. I don't know what the difference is. I think it's part of a series. Medical examiner Samantha Owens knows her job is to make sense of death with crisp methodology and precision instruments, but when the Tennessee floods take her husband and children, she's pulled into a suffocating grief no amount of work can penetrate until she receives a call from Washington, D.C. Let's see if I wrote a number in the middle or beginning. Yep, number 1. My mom has read this series. I bought the books for her because she doesn't really shop online, and that's kind of my thing, shopping books online, you know. Such a special skill that no one else knows about, right? Oy vey. So I'm going to keep this. I know she liked these a lot, and she likes J.T. Ellison as a writer. So actually, I bet What Lies Behind. This is number 4. Okay, so number 4. Edge of Black, which is number 2. So here's hoping I have number 3. Oh, No One Knows by J.T. Ellison. A thriller. Looks like it's a standalone. I think I got this from Book of the Month, but it's not a Book of the Month edition. Let's see here. No, I did, because I have a Book of the Month postcard in here from Liberty. It must be one of her picks. So this is just a standalone thriller. The day Aubrey Hamilton's husband is declared dead by the state of Tennessee should bring the closure she needs to move on with her life. But Aubrey doesn't want to move on. She wants Josh back. It's been 5 years since he disappeared, since their blissfully happy marriage, they were happy, weren't they, screeched to a halt, and Aubrey became the prime suspect in her husband's disappearance. Who is this? All this time later, who is the mysterious yet strangely familiar figure suddenly haunting Aubrey's new life? Maybe this is something to do with memory or something, and I don't know, but same author. Oh yeah, there it is. Book of the Month. Were you yelling at me this whole time? Look how little this is. I'm used to like the big colorful stamp or something on the side, but well, where is number 3? I don't think it'll be in here. I hope I have it somewhere. Okay, next up. Oh, The Beauty and the Sorrow, An Intimate History of the First World War by Peter England. This, I wish I knew where I got this recommendation from. I really don't remember. But this was a recommendation about nonfiction and the First World War. I do enjoy books about World War I and II. I mean, you know what I mean. Enjoy is not like, oh yeah, let's read about horrible destruction and senseless murder for really no reason most of the time. Like, not that. But it sounds really, really interesting. And I think, oh my good God, there are photographs in here. which is nice. But what made me say, oh my good God, is look at this print. This is like the teeniest. Look how small that is. Oh my gosh. This is gonna take me a while to read. 500 pages, give or take, not including notes. So, an intimate narrative history of World War I, told through the stories of 20 men and women from around the globe. A powerful, illuminating, heart-rending picture of what the war was really like. This sounds really, really interesting. I should say, with the J.T. Ellison books, I don't think I really read straight thrillers. I would like to. I read a lot of mystery, as you guys know, or if not, you do now. But I don't think I read a lot of straight thrillers. So if I don't love these J.T. Ellisons, since my mom has read them, I can just pass them on and let them go. I don't know about this one, though. I think I might really, really like it. Sorry for all the shaking. Okay. Next up, a thinner one. One Sunday Morning by Amy Ephron. She is Nora Ephron's sister. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure she is. But she wrote, I think she is. She wrote several books that are this size. These are small hardcovers, fairly thin. And I read A Cup of Tea, I think she wrote. Just sort of easy historical fiction, sort of one afternoon, one day kind of settings. I got this from a library book sale for, I think, a whole quarter. I would just say I could get rid of this now, but I do want to read it. So I will read this and get rid of it, assuming that it's good and it's not something I love and I think I will read again. Which, no offense to her, I don't think I'm going to love it. I think I'll like it, but... And since it is so short... Oh, it's got deckle edging. I really wish I liked it. Oh man, like 200 pages for this little thing, but look how it's spaced. I mean, yeah, I can read this for sure and pass it on. So that will be leaving, hopefully sooner than later. Halfway through. The Little Book by Selden Edwards. I have had this, I'm going to guess, 14 years at least, if not more. So aside from the very fun purple foiling on the cover, I don't think I can, I'm just going to have to read the back because I don't know how to wrap this up at all and summarize it. When Wheeler Burden, banking heir, rock idol, baseball hero, best-selling author, suddenly finds himself dislocated in time from 1988 San Francisco to 1897 Vienna, he has arrived at a pivotal moment in history, philosophy, art, and culture. It is a time when the coming 20th century looms before the world with great promise and peril, and when Vienna is enjoying its magnificent swan song as the epicenter of modern thought and the seat of European intellectual and political life. But what's most important to Wheeler from the earliest moments of his arrival are finding an appropriate set of clothes and discovering the identity of the luminous young woman he encounters early in his stay. These simple actions set in motion a series of events that will ultimately reveal the incredible truth at the heart of Wheeler's adventure and will illuminate the eccentric Burden family's unrivaled impact on the very course of human history. I really like time travel books, or time jumping, time slipping. I don't care what you want to call it, anything to do with time. I really, really like them a lot. So this has been on my list for quite a long time, just for that reason alone, but this sounds interesting. Plus, Vienna is a beautiful, beautiful city with a wonderful history, and I am here for all the things, you know, about Vienna or Salzburg or Austria or Germany, let's be honest. Okay, so yeah, keeping that. This one, 4 Seasons in Rome by Anthony Doerr, on twins, insomnia, and the biggest funeral in the history of the world. He wrote All the Light We Cannot See, which I have, of course, not read. This is, okay, on the day he and his wife return from the hospital with newborn twins, he learns he will receive the prestigious Rome Prize from the American Academy of Arts and Letters. With the prize come a stipend and a writing studio in Rome for a year. So this is just essentially a diary of his year spent in Rome, which should be interesting. Again, here for Rome, here for all of Italy. It is about 200 pages, so this should be pretty quick and easy. Not sure if I'll keep it or not, but it looks really good. Ooh, Devil's Trill by Gerald Elias. This is obviously about classical music. That's also one of my things. This was a recommendation from a friend of mine on Litsy. I don't remember who it was, but she was talking about another, this is last year sometime, was talking about a new release set in the classical music world, but in the future in space. And we were talking about books about classical music, and I mentioned my favorite was An Equal Music by Vikram Seth, and hers was this. So I checked this one out. This is about a blind violinist wasting away in self-imposed exile in rural New England, spending his time chain-smoking and berating students, hoping they will flee. The baffling disappearance of the accursed Piccolino Stradivarius violin from the Grimsley competition at Carnegie Hall draws this dude back into the world of classical music he so despises. With the support of his companion and former musical partner and his perplexing new student, he sets out to unravel the ever more confounding history. So it's about a missing Stradivarius violin. Sounds interesting. Here for it. Okay. Another small one, 1,000 Days in Venice by Marlene de Blasi. This is an unexpected romance. I have not read any of her work, but I think I own 4 of her books because they're an unusual size. They're like that Amy Efron one too. They're more square, obviously, and you know, there's some decent margin sizes in here too. But I first heard about her when I was working at my library as a shelver. I really liked the job. I did not like all the weirdos that were in the library all the time. And I don't just mean that there were people there I didn't like them. I mean like straight up legit weirdos. Some had mental illnesses, some did not. There were far too many that were unwashed that had very fancy cars. Yeah, just people. They're just people, I should say. So lots of weird people. So yeah, people. But I had seen a couple of her books. They're almost all this size, and in the travel literature section, and I thought, oh, this one really interesting. And she talks about places that I have been and I really loved. So when I would find these like at the library book sale or used book sales, I would pick them up. So I will read this for sure. I think this is just Venice. Venice is not a word. Venice is. Oy vey. I think this is fiction. That's what I was trying to say. Not sure, but whatever. I'm sure it will be good, and I can probably let it go after I read it. Oh, another one by the same author, That Summer in Sicily, a love story. Thank God that's not Deckle Edges. Whew. Yeah, same kind of thing. Just a love story. Should be good. Again, nothing earth-shattering. Doesn't have to be. Okay. Pulling 2 out now. Oh, The Ghost of Mrs. Moore by R.A. Dick. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. If you have not watched it, if you like black and white movies, if you like noir classics, if you like unusual love stories, watch the movie. It is so good. Ava Gardner is so beautiful and just amazing. Everyone in this movie is just wonderful. This is the first black and white movie my parents let me stay up late and watch. It was on Turner, when Turner was a brand new channel, I think. And I remember my bedtime was 8:30. I was in grade school. I don't remember when, but I know I was fairly young. And I was watching this movie with my parents, and I was begging to stay up because this ended at like just after 9 o'clock. So she let me stay up to watch it. And at the end, I couldn't believe it. And I was crying. And I remember asking my mom, like, this is it? This is how it ends? And she said, yeah, that is. We talked about it for a while, but that movie has stayed with me. I have a critical film, those BFI, like really thin little editions of just critical reviews of several classic novels, or classic movies, excuse me. So I have that for It Goes to Mrs. Muir. I also have the CD soundtrack. It's so good. And I have never read the book. I'm nervous too, because I hope it's as good as I remember the movie to be. But if nothing else, I really do want to read it. And then I can guilt-free watch the movie again. So yeah, absolutely. Oh, and we are back to 1,000 Days in Tuscany by Marlene de Blasi. This is a regular trade paperback size. Nothing unusual about that, but whatever. Again, can probably read and get rid of. Just a few left. Oh, Beauty and the Beast, Lost in a Book. An enchanting original story by Jennifer Donnelly. This is YA. So, when Belle comes upon Nevermore, an enchanted book unlike anything else she has seen in the castle, Belle finds herself pulled into its pages and transported to a world of glamour and intrigue. The adventures Belle has always imagined, the dreams she was forced to give up when she became a prisoner, seem within reach again. So I don't know if she gets stuck there and doesn't want to come back, or not that she gets stuck or she just doesn't want to come back straight up or whatever. This should be good. I love Beauty and the Beast retellings. I love the original story. I really liked the version that Jane Yolen wrote. What is the 80s or something, or 70s when she wrote that? I really liked that. It was pretty dark. But anything to do with Beauty and the Beast, I like. Even Disney stuff, don't care, like it. So this should be pretty good. If it's not great, I have no problem getting rid of that too. A 1, 2, 3, 4 more books. Shadows on the Grass by Isaac Dinesen. Isaac Dinesen's real name is Karen Blixen, and the Baroness wrote Out of Africa. That's her most famous book, I'm sure. And of course the movie, which again, another favorite movie, another favorite soundtrack. God, it's such a good movie. Oh, man. Yeah, really like it. Another weird fact about me, I used to love the soundtrack so much. My grandmother bought the cassette tape soundtrack, and my mom borrowed it from her permanently. And then I would borrow it from my parents and listen to it on my little boombox upstairs in my room. So we were, between myself, my mom, and my grandmother, we kept like rotating this out of Africa soundtrack cassette. Anyways, yeah. So I have not read this. This is a library book sale. Find new stories about Africa. So this should be short stories about Africa. I don't know if they're all set in Kenya where she lived or what, but we will see. Next up, another Isaac Dinesen, 7 Gothic Tales. This was a find at the Half Price Books clearance sale. They just started them a few years ago, having those big warehouse kind of sales. They rent out a huge building in the State Fair Park, which is just a couple of miles from my house. So once a year they have everything, like $2 or less for most things. So this is where I got this really nice old edition, decal edging. But this is from must be 61. Originally published 1934, copyright renewed 1961 by Isaac Dinesen. So it must be from the 60s. But 7 Gothic Tales, what's not to love? Keeping it. Okay, just 2 left, so I'm going to pull them out right away. Sorry. Pilgrim at Tinker Creek by Annie Dillard. This is my grandmother's copy. She loved this book. I mean, loved it. I'm trying to see what she wrote in it. Oh. Happy Mother's Day from Anne and Bill, 1974. Anne and Bill are my parents. So my mom and dad bought this for my grandmother for Mother's Day in 1974. This is, first U.S. edition. Way to go, Mom and Dad, buying a first edition right away. Oh, this will be really lovely. So for those of you who don't know about Annie Dillard or Pilgrim at Tinker Creek, it's 1 year in Annie Dillard's life talking about nature. Not just in her yard, but around the world too. I believe she talks about beetles in Africa, maybe, and stuff about the Antarctic, or the Arctic, I should say, not Antarctic, the Arctic, and observations of life around her house. So I love nature writing, and this seems like very much my jam. So, I am not getting rid of this one. You bet your bippy. And the last one, Back to J.C. Ellison again. This is When Shadows Fall. It is advanced reader's copy from when I went to the library in 2014. This is the third book. So, full circle here. Third book in that series of, Lord knows what name it is, what it's called, not a clue, but featuring that Dr. Samantha Owens, forensic pathologist. So, yeah, this one I will have to recycle or pass on to someone else when I get to it, but yeah. So, out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, out of the whole 18 books I am going to have gone through here, I am keeping them all. Surprise to nobody. Yeah, I will get rid of some of these. Like, I know I'll be able to get rid of these Marlena de Blasi's after I read them. I'm sure they're lovely, but I don't, probably nothing earth-shattering. And the Amy Efron, I know can go, that when I'm done reading it, that I can probably whip through really quickly. But yeah, everything else is pretty much staying. So, any comments? Have you guys read any of these books? Should I not read any of them? Let me know. I will try to do another one maybe later this week or over the weekend. Maybe not with my friend staying here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, hope you liked it, and let's have a little chat below. And I will, I guess, see you guys in the next one. Bye.